Okay. Actually, I do have 4 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call the meeting of July 13, 2026 to order. And the first order of business would be the invocation and the pledge.
Will you join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and thank you for this beautiful weather. And Lord, thank you for the much needed rain that we got over this past weekend. Father, we just ask that you please continue to allow all of us to stay safe this summer, for those that may be traveling and vacations. And Lord, as always, we just ask for your many blessings for our town and continue to allow us to make the best decisions for our wonderful community. All these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Carrie, will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do have a public hearing at 4:15, ordinance number 235, resource protection standards. So we're going to get started here. Everyone should receive a copy of the minutes from last month. Comments, questions, corrections?
I move to approve the June 8th, 2026 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And Sharon is out, so Michelle, you can give us the treasurer's report, you said?
Yes, so in your packet was the most recent, which is the first month of the new year and wrapping up the old fiscal year. It looks like we have almost hit our real property tax. We're at 97%. And income tax, we are already gone over, and we have one more disbursement in August, and that was good. So things look pretty good there. I know the auditors were in a couple weeks ago to start their work, so the circle continues. Does anybody have any questions on it? We're still wrapping up a lot of projects from 2026 budget. Both the well and water tower and plant, we still have payment outstanding on all of this, finalizing the last details. So hopefully in the next month those will all close out, but she still have to do a final report on all of those. But nothing else stands out.
Okay. That it for the treasurer's report? Okay. Mike Bailey, Planning Department.
Members, Mayor. So in June, it was a relatively easy month. The only thing that the Planning Commission did is they met to approve the Maryland annual report, which reports how many permits we received and then also issued, which was 44. The upcoming July 20th meeting, I have 2 items on the agenda. One is the final approval for the courthouse apartments, which are at the end of Courthouse Drive. I apologize, I thought I turned that off. At the end of Courthouse Drive on the left there, next to Fenwick Street. The second item we have on the Planning Commission is the existing building right here on the alley that's from Park Avenue. There's an existing building right there, and the owner is wanting to go up a second story on the top of that. So I will be presenting that to the Planning Commission for concept approval. And with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay.
Are they doing anything with the memory care? I've seen a lot of like cars and stuff down there on the side.
I met with their board last week, that she asked me to come and answer questions. They're deciding exactly what they want to do. I think they're going to go back out to bid with it. They only got a 1-year extension on their building permit last time. They could have gotten 2 years, so we're going to probably take it to the planning commission and just ask for the second year, retroactive to April, whenever the first year expired. So, and that would give them a few more months to actually decide for sure, and get new bids in and look at it. But we're very positive about wanting to do it.
And then remind us too for the property at the bottom of courthouse. So what was that, what's coming for?
It's a 22-unit
No,
apartment building.
no, yeah, that's fine. No, what's coming to the planning meeting for that one specifically?
Final approval.
Final approval?
Yeah, so
And then
they-
we won't get it? We won't?
No, because
Oh, we-
they have addressed the parking, the county has agreed to let them put 4 parking spaces on the frontage.
Correct.
So they were too short. So they gave them a letter to,
And
set parking on the front.
Yeah,
On
and
the road?
yes,
Side?
and there'll be 2 over at that point, because they're proposing 4 in the right of way.
Which is not gonna be, reserved parking, it will just be 4 spaces, so there's nothing else down there.
But the county gave it to them.
We don't own that road.
Right. No, I was just making that clear. Not us.
That was not ours.
Right.
And Mike, is that approval of this, the architectural, or is that just final site plan?
Final site plan approval, they will be, in other words, they have final site plan approval, but they still have to obtain fire marshal approval. But that will go through me because I'm not gonna issue them a building permit until after they've done that.
But
And
they
just
do
for-
bring architecturals back, yes.
Yes.
And just for the public's benefit, this is not a public hearing, correct?
No, it is not.
Okay, thank you.
And what's the building on Park Avenue that's getting the second story?
So there's an existing building right behind where the bookstore and the tattoo shop is. It's that small building. The owner has tried multiple times to put commercial business in that building, and after review, they've decided the best feasible way to utilize that is to put a second story on that and just make it a 3-unit residential building. It's just because there's just no real viable access as far as being able to drive to it kind
Right.
of thing.
No
So.
foot, no, like square foot of roadside footage.
Correct,
Right, it's
yes,
gotta be
so
back there.
they've determined that this is the best way to go with that piece of property.
Mm.
And it's relatively cut and dry because they're not disturbing more than, I think it's 2,100 square foot to do the construction. They're not tearing down anything, they're tearing off the roof and going up. There's just no stormwater management, the impervious surface remains the same. It's pretty cut and dry, although I had them address a couple things with water, but they've seemed to address that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay. Police report. Rick Wilhelmi's with us. Thank you very much. See 107 crime preventions, 49 premise checks, and 91 vehicle stops. So thank you for all that and everything else. Comments, questions?
Did we, the accident that happened at the wharf, of the repairs been scheduled, made?
I ordered the streetlights, but
Okay.
we can't repair them until we get they're out of the way and capped off, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the brick and, I don't know if they finally hit the brakes
Yeah,
or.
well, the concrete is not, it's, part of the concrete band
Right.
is messed up.
Yeah.
Some of the railing, so it's gonna just take a little time.
Okay.
We do have a DUI checkpoint this weekend in the town. It'll
I
be-
saw
I
that
was
on
going
the.
to ask you about that. So.
Yeah, it'll
Is
be,
that the 17th?
yeah, Friday between 9 and midnight.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
The only other thing I had is my car was broken into, July 5th.
July
Not a
5th.
big deal. It's probably my fault. So, just in Academy Hills,
Okay.
just for people to remember to lock your vehicles.
So it wasn't broken into, it was just open.
It was open.
So I know
Without my knowledge.
there's been a string of them over
And things removed.
Lady Baltimore, that area.
Okay.
Like off Newtown Neck.
I haven't heard of any other cases like in the town itself, especially after we caught the two that were doing it over Clark's Restaurant in Spring.
It wasn't a major theft, so, but just for people to remember to lock their
Lock the
doors.
doors.
Yeah, lock your door.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Still have 5 minutes before the public hearing. You want to start on something else there?
Sure,
Michelle?
we have 2 liquor license letters of support, we can go to those if you want. Before the public hearing. The first is for Boone's Bagels on Fenwick Street. They just want a wine and beer license only. And they'd like a letter of support for a restaurant, beer and wine license, and also to include outdoor seating. Any questions on that?
I guess my only question is, how does that work when they share a space? Because isn't it?
Well, they have a divider in there,
Okay.
and so that'll be up to the liquor board to what they're gonna
Okay,
require
understand.
for that.
Understand about that.
I think that's why they divided it like they
Okay.
did. I mean, and that's up to them to monitor it because, you know, you can lose your license if you let them go. So I don't know how the liquor board will handle it, that's not really.
And for us, right?
Unless we say no outdoor seating alcohol, then that could be up to us.
Are they planning on getting it open like longer and then, because they usually close at like 3?
Yeah, I think it's
2 or
more
3.
like the weekends, people like to have a mimosa or something like that, breakfast and
That makes sense. I move to approve a liquor license letter of support for the Class B beer and wine restaurant license for David Boone, Boone's Bagels LLC, located at 41654 Fenwick Street, to include the outdoor seating area.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And the next one is for Luxury Liquors LLC. This is a new liquor store coming into the one that was in Breton Marketplace behind Lino's, Texas Salsas. So it'll be new ownership. Jignesh Patel and Brian Yates are seeking to establish and operate a retail liquor store through Luxury Liquors LLC, and it's going to be trading as Leonardtown Fine Wine and Spirits. And they would just like the Class A license, which is for the liquor store.
That's what the previous business had.
I move to approve a liquor license letter of support for the Class A beer, wine, and liquor license for Luxury Liquors LLC, located at 25470 Point Lookout Road, Unit B.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Still have a couple minutes, but you can probably go ahead and start your...
Okay. Janine's going to handle that as her final hurrah.
Final hurrah. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So yes, for proposed Chapter 80, we did introduce this ordinance, 235 at the last meeting. Tonight is the intended public hearing in order to move forward with adoption if the mayor and council so choose. So I did do a little bit more in depth of a comparison from the existing code to the proposed code based on questions that were raised at the work session. So I did just, I'll go through those, and that should take up the couple minutes we need before the public hearing officially starts.
Okay.
So just to go through, for the current code and the new code as far as the organization goes, we did consolidate several sections of the existing town code, including the forest conservation, floodplain, into one chapter, which will make it a lot easier for applicants and staff to utilize during review. And then we did add in some additional early resource identification procedures for streams, wetlands, buffers, hydric soils, and erodible soils, habitat areas. And this will help to make sure that those are identified earlier in the process and to make sure that there's clear guidance on any state and federal coordination that's needed for those reviews. As far as the streams, buffers, wetlands, they've all been codified under the state law, and we are just making sure that it's noted in the town code. It just gives staff a clearer basis for review and helps to make sure that we're addressing all of those items. Sometimes it's easy to miss it if it's not in your code. For the floodplain management, the base information was not changed. We already did the significant updates that were needed earlier on or late in 2025. So it really was just incorporated into this chapter and improved consistency with existing regulations. For forest conservation, this was significantly updated because of state law. There was House Bill 1511 and subsequent House Bill, Senate Bill 526 that required specific updates to local jurisdictions. So they did put out a model ordinance, we utilized that, and we did send it out for review to the different state agencies, and all of them, there was a couple minor edits in the beginning, but all of them approved the draft as is. And then there's just clearer enforcement tools that are laid out in the new chapter that will hopefully make it easier for staff to direct when there's an issue. So it really is just a matter of supporting the state law. It's organizing existing code and making sure that it's easier for staff and applicants to utilize this and to make sure that we're meeting all the environmental concerns. One of the other questions that was raised was how this would impact our environment. So this is purely theoretical. It really does determine how much forest you're conserving, those types of things. It's really dependent on the type of development as far as the land use, whether it's residential, commercial, mixed use. It depends on how much existing forest there is, how much they're proposing to clear. There's a lot that goes into it. But what I did was I put together a theoretical example where you have a total tract area of 386 acres. They have a section where you would deduct any constrained areas, so that's existing floodplain, steep slopes. So let's just say that there's 90 acres of constrained area. So that brings the net tract area to 296 acres. There's 277 acres of existing forest, and they're proposing to clear 50. So that would leave the retaining forest retained after clearing 227.238 acres. Under the new code in the state law, for a mixed-use development, for mixed use, they have to preserve 15% in forest conservation. So you take the 296, which is the net tract area, multiply it by 15, so 44.445 acres would need to be preserved. And so in this case, they're still retaining the minimum amount, so they wouldn't need to do any additional reforestation or afforestation on the site. Now, the thing that will come into play with, and that's, again, this is where it kind of gets determined throughout the different procedures, under the old code and under the old state law, keeping all of that same in mind, if they were to clear more than they were allowed, under the old code, they would only have to replant or establish 0.25 acres of forest per every acre removed. So the old code, like for this example, they'd have to plant 12.5 acres. Under the new code, there's two categories, two scenarios. You have property that's in the priority funding area, which 99% of the town is. And then there's areas that are not priority funding area. If it's priority funding area, then they only have to do, where is it? Let me double check, make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. They would have to, so from 0.25, they would have to go up to 0.5. So there would be a half acre to an acre as far as the disturbance. If it's non-priority area, and again, this is where I'm saying it gets really difficult to understand. If it's non-priority or non-PFA, they would have to do 1-to-1. So for every acre disturbed, they'd have to plant an acre or preserve an acre off-site. So that is really the big difference with the Forest Conservation Code. Everything else is, like I said, it's been pretty standard. You have to preserve streams, wetlands, floodplains. So the big difference is going from 0.25 kind of across the board to 1 acre to 0.5 or 1-to-1 as far as forest conservation. So that's just a little little synopsis as to what that kind of means in a nutshell.
But again, it's
Thank
state
you.
law, it's state law which applies over ours anyway, so.
Exactly.
Okay, I do have 20 after, so I would entertain a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing reference to ordinance number 235.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Have we received any public comments on this? Okay. Is there any public comment today? Okay. Any new comments then? We could go ahead and close the open public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
All right, I move to close the public hearing and open our regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, any comments, questions on this?
Janine, thank you for all the work you did on this and to get it done for us. We
You're welcome.
appreciate it. I know that we had a deadline, so thank you.
All right, I move to approve ordinance number 235, resource protection standards as presented.
I'll second.
And motion and second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, expecting someone from county government on the community parks and playground grant, so let's hold that one for a little bit. And the next item would be the engineered tank care proposal for Tudor Hall and Greenbrier Towers. And we do have with us Ryan from Southern Corrosion, who would be our representative. So he was driving home, I guess, or was in the area. So Southern Corrosion has proposed its engineered tank care service to provide comprehensive maintenance, preventive maintenance for the town's 2 existing water storage tanks. The service is intended to extend the useful life of the tanks and their existing coatings through proactive inspection, corrosion protection, repairs, painting, and scheduled maintenance. The proposed service includes regularly scheduled inspections, corrosion control measures, and repair and painting work as needed in a guaranteed emergency response time. The proposal is for a 10-year proposal, similar to the proposal approved for the new Meadows 2 storage tank a couple months ago. In the FY27 budget, we do have a capital item to repaint Tudor Hall Tower, which we've kind of bumped out for several years. That would more than cover what the cost of this proposal is. They would still, Southern Corrosion would have the tank painted and do the inspections initially in this year. The cost can be escalated according to the proposal by the CPI for year 1 and each year afterwards. It does not include a cap, which we have on most of our contracts, so that is something you would need to consider today. There is a decreasing premium cost if the contract is canceled in years 2 through 4 or 6 through 9. Year 5 and year 10, there's not a premium cost. So staff is recommending that we consider the proposed service as a long-term asset management measure to protect the town's water infrastructure, reduce the likelihood of costly emergency repairs, and maximize the service life of our existing tanks and coatings. In year 1, it's $49,900 is what the cost is. And at the end, in year 2, if we canceled it, it would be an additional payment of $112,000, which would still put us a little bit over what we were going to pay for the painting, but not by much. So in my opinion, we don't really have anything to lose. We don't have the staff to do the regular inspections in a timely manner. We have to hire people to come in and do the inspections and the maintenance anyway. None of our staff can go up in the tower, have a license to, and have the equipment to. So I think it's a really good thing for us and as a small institution and the staff that we have to be able to know that our tanks are being maintained and kept and going to be in service for a long time.
I like the fact that we could actually cancel it after 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's really a 5-year contract with an extension, kind of, really. Is how you
Am I
really-
understanding that correctly, Brian?
You are.
Yeah.
So just as you have the opportunity to exit the contract in those years, at the time of your choosing, if you elect to continue it, you have that option as well, beyond the initial 10-year mark.
Okay.
So even if we cap it at 5, we can still continue on. Thank you.
If we decided to cancel it.
Okay.
Or if we have
Something else comes up.
I mean, it's really you're agreeing to 10 years, but if you go out early in the 5th year, you wouldn't have, there's not much.
Correct.
But then it kicks back in and out year 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
And all of that is subjective to the work that is spelled out in the schedule of work.
Yes. It's a little bit different schedule, but they are older tanks, and so it's not exactly to what we agreed to in landmarks, but it's still, I mean, it's a good program, and it's more than we have going at this point.
I like the idea of having it,
Yeah.
honestly.
They're old girls, they need some love.
Yes, we kicked the can for that Tudor tower for a long time, just because it wasn't a have-to thing, but I think we already have it budgeted, we're gonna save money this year by having them do the painting.
I would say in the long run, having this actually could save us money too.
Yeah.
Something-
Oh, absolutely.
Something were to happen.
Spend a
And
penny,
big
save
headache.
1,000, like,
And
yeah.
hopefully ahead of any
Yes.
emergencies.
And you can plan
prefer to
for
be
them
ahead.
instead of
Yeah.
emergency, it's much easier to plan for.
I move to authorize the town administrator to execute an agreement with Southern Corrosion, Inc. for the engineered tank care service for maintenance of the Greenbrier and Tudor Hall water storage tanks. The acceptance would include a 5% cap on the annual escalation factor.
Second.
And that's something that Ryan would have to go back to his company and make sure, because it's not a 5% escalation cap. So if they have a problem with the billing, we would bring it back to you.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Oh, did they go out and inspect the tanks?
A couple of years ago, they
Okay,
inspected them, so they felt comfortable basing this on that.
Got it.
I did, and I do carry credentials through the Association of Materials Protection and Performance.
Awesome.
No work has been done since the time of my inspection, which this still holds for.
Gotcha. Great. Thanks.
No pun intended.
I was gonna say-
And he's funny too, so.
Yeah.
No, they've been very good to work with, so.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Anyone? Okay, we had a motion and a second. Few comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I'll get with you on the contract then.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's just keep going and then we'll circle back to if the county does it. The next item is the memorandum of agreement with Cedar Lane Senior Living Community as responsible entity for environmental review for their Evergreen at Cedar Lane property project. There was a request letter in your packet from Eric Golden, and I've had discussions with him. The EPA requires that that they have a qualified local government that acts as the responsible entity to make sure that the environmental review is done. And they hire an actual, someone to oversee the compliance oversight. So there's that's a qualified environmental consultant. And we just have to make sure that they, provide us the documentation. There's no financial cost to the town. They would reimburse us also for staff time if we ask them to. It is a requirement for them to receive their federal portion of their funding, which is a significant portion that they no longer have to go for the community legacy grant that we were going to help them with, which would have been much more time consuming and headache. it would be signing the MOA to be the responsible, agreeing to be the responsible entity for that. And then it would end once that project was finished. I thought Eric might be here, but no.
Is there any requirements for to be the responsible entity?
So just that it's a local government. So I will be signing and ensuring that the project, you know, as we go through the process, that they submit their documents. And the environmental consultant will be preparing all the paperwork and required documentation.
And then we're tied in to this is completely done, right? That's what you said, so the project's
Right.
done. Okay.
And then the project will be done, and it would end.
Okay. All right, well, I move to authorize the town administrator to sign the MOU between Cedar Lane Senior Living Community 3 LLC and the Commissioners of Leonardtown to act responsible entity for the environmental review process on the Evergreen and Cedar Lane project.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
The next item is the renewal of the brick paver contract. As you know, we have a lot of sidewalks that are brick paver. We have also parking lots, 2 parking lots right now. And Stepping Stone has had that contract since we just instituted it, I believe, in 2019. And they've been the one that's been doing our maintenance, but also we have new projects for pavers. Prices are up from last time we did it was in 2022. Two companies picked up packets, but only one submitted, which was Stepping Stone, to renew the contract. It's about $5 higher on the repairs. $5 per square foot since 2022. But the pavers themselves, they don't have gone up significantly. Everything else. And they do a great job. If I tell them there's a problem somewhere, they're on it. Sometimes the same day. So we've been very pleased with their service as well.
Do we know why the other person that picked it up didn't bid?
I mean, I talked to them and told them, you know, how to get the package and everything, but I never heard back.
Gotcha.
I think the only time, when we did it the other 2 times, we usually only get, I think once in a while we get 2 people. It wasn't the same one we got the first time, so I'm not sure why. Like we advertised it. put it on
Yeah, I mean,
In the paper.
force them to do it.
It was in the paper twice, actually.
But they've always done a good job for us.
No concerns about the job that they've done.
I mean, they actually laid the papers for the Compass Rose originally. We bought them from somewhere else, but, and that's who I'll have to get to repair the damages done.
I move to approve the brick paver contract to Stepping Stone LLC effective August 1st, 2026 to August 30th, 2028 with the option of 3 one-year extensions.
Second.
Okay, motion second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
The next item is to approve the engagement of Ryan LLC for tax services related to the investment tax credit for the solar MEA grant that we received. We have received the $600,000 with $50,000 matching for the solar panels at the winery on the storage building on one side, the town hall roof, and at several buildings at the wastewater treatment plant. And in addition to that grant, it was anticipated that we would receive about a $300,000 tax credit, investment tax credit. This company actually works with the solar company on other projects to Energy Select to manage some of these programs for the tax credit side. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of requirements to the grant because it's a federal grant, and we don't have the staff to manage that. So, and he actually believes that we would get even more back for the tax credit. So his fee is $17,000 total for the whole project. for this Ryan LLC, and I think we would make more than that, but even if it was just a 300,000, it's well worth the 70,000 if we don't know the paperwork or the process. And Kathy has talked to them significantly and really brought to our attention a lot of what was in the agreement and what it's going to take. And we don't have the staff to do it.
I appreciate that they think that that tax credit will probably even come in higher than the
Yeah.
300,000.
Yeah, I think having somebody that knows the paperwork is
Yeah.
priceless.
Yeah.
Federal money is almost not worth it if you don't.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And they provide audit support, because God only knows what will happen, so I think it's fabulous.
And making sure we maximize what we have.
Right.
Right, they know the process, even though
Yep.
James doesn't know exactly, so he was very comfortable with this company as well.
I move to approve the town administrator to sign the contract to utilize Ryan LLC for tax services related to the town of Leonardtown's desired investment tax credit as it relates to the Maryland Energy Administration Local Government Energy Modernization Program grant for the solar project. The total fee for Ryan LLC would be $17,000.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, let me just circle back then to the one we skipped over, which was the Community Parks and Playground Grant. And it's still not here, so I put at the table today, Christy Kaler had sent this PowerPoint she was going to do, I guess, to kind of just show what the splash pad is supposed to look like on the front of the governmental center property near Leonard Hall. We have not received the final plans for it. Mike is working with the county on that. But there is an agreement that gets signed on all community parks and playground pass-through grants. We've had it in the past, which is the joint use agreement, which is the first one, which kind of says that we are getting the grant and we are responsible for everything to the state, in the state's eyes, because the grant's coming directly to us. The second agreement is the memorandum of agreement with the county, which is saying they're the ones that are going to do all the work and it'll just pass through us. But they do require both of us to sign this joint use agreement. So you would be authorizing the town to sign that joint use agreement with the state and then signing the memorandum of agreement with the county, saying that they are responsible to bid the project, oversee the construction, and spend the money only for that project.
I've had a few people ask me where exactly it is going to be over there, but if you look at the last page here, it's right next to Medinsky Park.
Very exciting. I wish they had done that when I was young.
You might run out there at lunchtime now.
All right. We'll lock in the sun every time.
Put your backpack on.
And we'll be like,
That's a great.
Walk back home, you know what?
Hey, at midnight.
Very nice.
All right, I move to authorize Mayor Burris to sign the Community Parks and Playground Joint Use Agreement, an MOU with St. Mary's County Government for the pass-through grant for the splash pad, the amount of $300,000.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion?
I was gonna say, it's got a lot of use. It's a
Yeah.
playground now, it's
Sure.
always busy,
Yeah.
everybody lives to it.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, nice to get out there.
Yeah, it will be nice.
Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Just a couple, Jennifer will give her report here just in a second and we'll wrap up, but I did have a meeting with Kim Tran, the district engineer for State Highway. She came down a couple weeks ago and we went around and looked at, and I talked about Tudor Hall coming on and what the improvements need to be done to Route 5. I talked about the State Highway project on 245, which is getting ready to go out to bid this month for the sidewalk finish the sidewalk. It's still taking a couple of years, but to build it. But anyway, we talked about different areas of Route 5, and I was asking, you know, what can we do to advocate for our projects? Right now, there's just no money anywhere. All the projects that are being forwarded are pedestrian and bicycle safety improvement projects, not capacity-oriented projects. But we just keep in touch with our delegation and keep the letter, the annual letter of priorities for the county. We need to make sure that we're involved in that and make sure that, we keep out there. And I mean, I'm on calls twice a month already with State Highway. So she's very responsive, and she knows what we're doing down here. And she appreciated the free information. So I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to come and look and see what we have going on and kind of give us some advice. I know that we are really big on pedestrian bridges, but she said they haven't funded one in a really long time. A lot of times they get built and people don't use them. They're too.
Well, the people that need it are the older people that need,
Trying to go on the steps.
that can't get up those
Yeah.
steps. So
Yeah.
really,
So we have that in our comp plan, but that, may not be something that's a reality, and it may not be as good as we think anyway, so.
they
Anyway,
did like
it's-
3 of them and no one's using them. So,
It's been very good, it was good information and good to get our information out there, and Terry's been working really hard on the new website, and we got a sneak peek of it, and we need to tweak it a little bit, but it looks really fantastic. I think you guys are gonna love it. And I think that was all, other than Jennifer's report.
Good afternoon. I just had one thing to add to my monthly report. We're excited to welcome Mandy Riggs. She's opening What the Fizz Beverage Boutique this month. It's located next to the Salted Scoop where the old Needed was. So I'll send you the details of the ribbon cutting and the celebration. They will be serving dirty sodas, dirty energy drinks, lemonades, matcha, specialty waters, and specialty iced hot coffee. So it'll be fun. And I'll let you know the details. Please let me know if you have any questions on the monthly report. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
That's everything.
Okay. Move on to my report. No one here from the LBA.
And I didn't hear from him, I checked a few minutes ago.
There wasn't a whole lot at the LBA meeting. Just a lot of people on vacation and stuff.
Yeah, quiet time.
Yeah, so not much going on. So. Okay. Independence Day, July 4th. Last week we did actually, were a number of us, Heather and Michelle and myself, went out to the Governmental Center and did a reading of the Declaration of Independence on July 8th, because that was 250 years ago when the first reading of the independence was.
It was a really nice event.
That was a really nice event.
Okay, move on to council reports. Heather, events / Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
Yeah, I was gonna let Jay still have SMMA. I can breathe and I'll
He's
fill
part of
in.
Maryland Mayors, it's
Oh.
the Maryland Association, not
Yes.
Southern Maryland
Okay.
Association.
Well,
He's on
Jay,
that board now.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you're all over it.
Yeah, all over.
For events, just upcoming, I know we've got the Labor Day, correct? For the LBA. That's a great event. I was able to volunteer with that last year. It was 5,000 degrees, so wear sunscreen. Just also, Janine, thank you for everything that you've done to help kind of bring us up, and you've taught me a lot through the time that you've been here. So just really appreciate your service to us, and we'll miss you.
Can we keep you on for a couple more years for that?
Yeah. We also have a new member of our Leonardtown town that, involves our events. His name is Leo. So Eris had her baby. Yay! So congrats to Eris. Yeah. We can't pay him officially yet, but
He's a little young.
I expect we'll see him, on the side, maybe here and there. And then just also, I don't even want to say it, the Scarecrow Stroll and gingerbread stuff is out for everybody. Yeah, that's, if you want to have a scarecrow or gingerbread, sign up. So I have no idea what I'm going to do this year. Do you want to still take SMMA? I think you should have. Look, we'll have a debate here. Yeah, I'll let Jay talk to it and then yeah. So that's all I've got, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Nick, community development then.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Mike, a lot of permits from last month. Good to see you. Looks like Meadows is just rocking and rolling back there. They are moving along nicely, which is great. Other than that, I really don't have much else to report. Hope everyone is enjoying their summer break and vacations. I know it's, August is almost here, and then school's gonna be starting back up, so
Crazy.
hopefully just enjoying it, making the most of it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Michelle, when is the clubhouse gonna be done? When I drove by, it looks like it's pretty much,
They have it down this fall, so.
Okay. It does look like it's close.
And then just wanted to mention, for the moment, State Highway's still on schedule to start the sidewalk project next month, so fingers crossed, hopefully they don't delay it anymore.
Anyway.
Yeah, so looking forward to that, but that's everything from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Christie, utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a neighbor the other day that made me think of something. So their grinder pump went off, the alarm went off. She called and asked what to do, so we told them to call the town. So if anyone that has a grinder pump, there's a light on it. If the light's on, reduce your water, call the town, we'll come out and check it out. A lot of people just don't know what to do, so
I don't even know if you have one.
you don't have one.
Okay.
They're like a 2-foot pit that'll be in your yard, or like a rounded lid.
I don't have
It's
that.
like a manhole, sort of.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a panel inside your house with a little light on top. And that's really all I have. Hope everyone had a great 4th, and I can't believe the summer is trucking along fast.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jay, Southern Maryland Association.
All right, Mayor, thank you. So, some changes. So Leonardtown is taking over SMMA. Heather is going to be the chapter president. I'll be the vice president, and Terry is going to be our secretary. So our goal is to kind of get this up and running a little bit more than what it was. I think our next meeting is going to be here in Leonardtown, October
Yep, second.
2nd.
It's the first Friday, yep.
And then we could do our third meeting in Baltimore. That's at the fall conference. So that'll help us with Banner City and get where we need to be with SMA. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's also important that we kind of get a little bit more connected to the Southern municipalities. And it's always good, you know.
Yeah, learn what each other are doing in collaboration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be good. Also, it's an honor to be back on the board of directors to the Maryland Municipal League in Annapolis. I'm looking forward to that. Our first event is September 10th and 11th in Ellicott City. That'll be our fall retreat. So we actually have a very busy year with a lot of events. So Teresa's got a lot going on for us. And I really think, on the conference, the summer conference in June, it was good. It was a good turnout, well attended, a lot of great sessions, classes. I think it was a lot of good takeaway information for all of us.
Yeah.
So that was, and Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Mary, business development and retention.
Want to remind everybody that we've got Christmas in July coming up for anybody that wants to do some shopping. That's going to be in Leonardtown. And we've got a crush crawl coming up. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, it's July 20th, I think?
I don't remember.
No,
when it
not
was.
July.
This Friday.
This
I think it's this Friday,
That's
yeah.
when the
That's what.
Right.
And you're having a.
Yeah.
Wow.
So don't drink and drive.
Yeah,
but
Drive smart.
drive smart. But it did look like there was some interesting crushes. I mean, I was like,
Look, I didn't play in the checkpoint. I just got told I had to work.
Might want to get that word out.
It's good to say.
Be smart, be
Yeah.
smart. But that sounds like
If they're
I'm gonna try
crawling,
that.
then
We're
you're
gonna have
okay.
a blackberry.
Yeah.
Car.
That sounds good. Have fun crushes.
They have the grapefruit, they've got a water, yeah.
Key lime,
just
key
walk.
lime. Yeah,
Yeah,
walk. Yeah, don't drive. Uber's fabulous. And then just remind everybody that the PFMLA enrollment is open with the state of Maryland, and Maryland has accepted insurance companies to start doing the PFMLA for some of my employers. Something that we need to be looking at, though, if you're going to do the PFMLA, or you're going to do it yourself, or you're going to hire an insurance agent to outsource it. There's a couple conference calls coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. But again, this is something that affects every employer. Nobody is exempt. So churches, everybody needs to do this. So just get the word out there. That's what I got. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Anybody have anything else? Other than Janine, just want to thank you again for everything you've done for us. And Good luck on your next position. So.
Thank you. It really has been a pleasure working with all of you. It really is a bittersweet moment. You know, I really enjoy working for the town, the environment, the people, the council, the town staff. So it really is hard. It was a very hard decision. But I will still be around. I'll still be volunteering at the events. And as I said, if you need anything, please let me know.
Great. Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Thank you. Anything else good of the cause?
Let's pass this ordinance around, so.
If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
One guy with the golf cart.
Are we all on there?